Welcome everyone to this webinar of Incident Management Part 1. My name is Dennis Braganza from the Vision Helpdesk team, and I shall be taking you through this webinar today. Now, as you all know that we have recently launched the V5 version of our software. This V5 version is responsive and is packed with many features. There are many feature enhancements which I will be covering up during this webinar sessions. Vision Helpdesk is now also Pink Verify certified for 3 processes, which include incident management, problem management, and change management. So the agenda for today's webinar would be, first of all, we'll be looking at an overview of incident management and the basic features of incident management. Then we will be looking at how the views can be set for the incident management page. After that, we will be looking at the incident creation process, both from the staff end and the client end. Then we shall be looking at how the operations need to be handled within an incident. Then we will look at how the properties can be defined for incidents. We will also look at the advanced search and how custom filters can be added. And finally, we will take a look at how the email queue is set up and how we can set up SMTP. So this is what we are going to cover in today's webinar. We also have other webinars lined up. So we have the second webinar, which would include the automation part of incident management, and the next one would be the advanced features. So this will be covered up in the subsequent weeks. So now let's take these points one by one. First one is an overview of incident management. So for this, let me take you to our staff portal. So once you log in to the staff portal, you need to click on this icon over here, and you will be taken to the inbox or the incident management page. Now on this page, on the left hand side, we have given you certain option to categorize the incidents. Like we have filters over here. So you can categorize if you want to view only the open incidents, or the ones which are overdue, or the ones assigned. Then there's an option of departments, wherein if you want that your clients should be able to view the categorization as per departments and statuses, this option can be chosen. And the third option we have is labels. So if you want to categorize the incidents as per labels, you can use this option. There'll be an option over here to select a default option which you require. So let's see if I want departments. Now I shall be covering up about the departments and statuses in detail while telling you about the incident management properties. On the right hand side, you get to see a list of all the incidents. Now we have some mass operations over here, wherein you can merge two or more incidents together. It's a very simple operation. You can just click on this merge incident. You can define into which incident you want the others to be merged into. And by default, it'll just have the merge post. You can also merge the time tracking entries, notes, and comments, and then click on update. You can also link two incidents together. So you can define the relationship between two incidents. So you can define what kind of link the two incidents have. For example, it's a parent of another incident, or a child of another incident, or depends on, or is a duplicate of. This can be defined over here. Then there's an option of applying SLA. Now, we shall be covering up the SLA in detail in the automation session, which will be scheduled next week. So I'll just leave this for now. There are some more operations where you can move this to trash, you can mark this incident as a spam, you can ban a particular user, you can export this incident as a PDF, and also have a mass reply to a group of incidents. Now let's say if these incidents are for the same query, and if I want to give a mass reply, I can give a reply to a group of incidents using the mass reply option. Now let's move to the second point, which is setting up the incident management views. So the question might arise to your mind that what are views and why do we use them first of all? So you see this listing on the right hand side over here of incidents. Now there are certain columns over here, like there's an incident hash, there's subject, email, department, etc. And let's say if you want a certain column to be added over here, or if you want to replace a certain column, that can be done using views. Now to go to the views option, you click on this drop down menu over here and you click on views, and here we have the default view. Now the default view will be common for all the staff members. So once the admin makes the changes to the default view, it would be applied to all the staff accounts. Additionally, a staff can also go and create their own personalized views and use it for their own profile. Now let me take you inside and view. Now inside this view option, you can define the ticket count or the incident count on the inbox. You can define the order in which the incidents need to be sorted, and then we have the option wherein you can select which columns you want to display on the inbox. So the ones marked in blue are the ones currently on the inbox. So let's say if you want to change this, let's say if it's a very simple process, you just need to drag and drop this. I'll just click on last reply and drag this over here, and let's say if I want the modify it on option in this, I can just drag it in and place it over here. Then I scroll down and I click on update. So now when I come back to the inbox, I would get to see the modified on option in the list. Then we have the new incident creation process. Now a new incident can be created by a client and by a staff as well. So a client can raise a new incident from various channels, like from his email address or from the client portal or from other social media channels like Facebook and Twitter. So to demonstrate you, I shall be showing you how an incident can be created from the client portal and from an email. So now this is the client portal. The client can click on this incident option and click on submit incident, and over here he would get the option to select the department, the priority, the type. Then you can add a subject over here. I've just created a subject. I created an example over here. So let's say this client is looking for an email management tool. So these article suggestions you see over here, these are from the knowledge base. As per the keywords the client has added in the subject line, the software will automatically suggest articles from the knowledge base. So the customer can go through them, or he can continue with adding a new incident. So let's say I'm submitting an incident over here and I click on submit. So once the incident is submitted, a unique ticket hash will be generated. The client can view it over here. The client can also view the incident details, the basic properties of it, like status, priority, type, etc. over here. And when we come to the inbox, under the open department, you'll get to see a new incident come in over here. Similarly, if a customer wants to submit an incident from his email address, let's say I'm submitting one from Gmail, so you'll just compose a mail from here. He'll add your email address. So let's say if this is your company email address, which has been mapped to the help desk, the customer will just add this email address over here. He'll add the subject, the content, and click on send. Once he has done this, when you come back to the inbox, you will get to see an email coming into the system. Now see this channel icon is displayed over here. So the first one I sent was from the client portal. So it has a client portal icon. And the second mail I sent is from an email. So it has an email icon. So this also helps to classify from where the email has come in. Let me also show you how a staff can create an incident. After that, I will take you inside an incident and the options available inside an incident. So I'll show you now how a staff can add an incident. The staff clicks on this add option over here, clicks on incident. Now over here you can define the properties, for example the department for which this incident is created and the channel. Now there are two types of incident the staff can create, an external incident and an internal incident. Now an internal incident, as its name suggests, is for internal use only. It can only be viewed by the staff members. The end users or the customers cannot view it. So this can be used, let's say if there's a certain internal issue or some internal discussion, an internal incident can be created. Now I'll just show you how an external one is to be created. I can select the department, the channel, and click on next. Now over here, the staff can add the details of the client. So let's say for example, if I'm sending this to a customer of mine, I select her name over here. I'll add the subject. And I'll add the content. I can define the incident properties over here. And over here there are some options, like there's staff comment, wherein if I want to add some internal comment for the staff viewing, this can be added over here. Then there's an option of send email. If you want an email should be sent to the customer's email address, you take this option. There's an autoresponder. So if you wanted a client be notified whenever this email is sent, you can select the autoresponder as well. There's an option of visible to client. Now if you want that this particular incident or this particular email is visible on the client portal as well, you need to take this option. And there's also an option of as client. So if you want to submit this incident on behalf of the customer, you can just uncheck the sent email and select as client and autoresponder. So an email will be created on behalf of the customer and would come into the system, and an SLA would also be applied over it. Now I'll go ahead and create this incident. So see, now you get to see that 3 new incidents which are created, 2 from the client end and 1 from the staff end, and each of them has a unique ticket hash. Now let me take you to the next point, which is managing the operations within an incident. Now once I click on an incident hash, it takes me into an incident wherein I can see the incident hash for this incident. This will be a unique hash for every incident. On the left hand side, you would get to see the client details, that is the customer's name and email address, the current SLA plan applied over this incident, the pending response time and the pending resolution time. And you would also get to see the incident properties under incident details. For example, the department, status, priority, and you can also have this assigned to a staff or to a team. On the right hand side, you get to see the conversation. Now, those who are using the V4 would notice that we have moved the option on the left hand side, so we have a larger area for conversation over here. So this will be the place where your end user and your staff would communicate. Then we have the audit log option. So under the audit log option, you would get to see all the changes made over the incident right from the time it was created. Under the history option, you would get to see a list of all the incidents submitted by this client. Then we have the option to reply. Uh, there's an option to reply to the client. If there's someone marked in CC or BCC, the reply all option can be used. That is if there are multiple recipients. And you can also use the forward option if you want to forward this email to a third party email address. Then there's an option of time tracking. This will be a part of the billing module, and it would be covered in the upcoming webinars. So I'll skip this for now. We have the option of labels. So over here we allow you an option to add multiple labels and have them applied over incidents, and then you can categorize these incidents on the basis of these labels. We have some more options over here, like you can add a note, you can add a comment. Now a note and a comment are both for internal staff usage. Your client cannot see these. Notes are of two types. There's an incident note which will be applied on this incident, and a client note which would be applied on all the incidents submitted by this customer. So let's say I add a note over here. So this is a note which I'm adding over here. I'll just paste it here. I can select the color theme which I want and click on add. So when I add a note, a new tab would be added on this incident wherein the notes can be viewed. When I add a comment, this is something similar to a note, but a comment will be linked to a particular response. So let's see if I add this comment over here. So a comment is attached to this particular conversation, and as further conversation or responses keep on coming in, this will move down attached to this incident, to this particular comment. So that's the basic difference between a note and a comment. Then we have the option of clone incident. Now let's say if one of your client had called in and he raised a certain request, so an incident has been created for him. Let's say if there's another customer calling in for the same issue, in that case your staff can just clone the incident. He can add the email address of the other client over here. Let's say for example, and let's say he can define if he wants the first post, the last post, or all the posts to be added, and clone this. Once he has done this, you would get to see the other incident created over here, and as you click on this, you'd get to see the same incident being cloned over here with the email address of another client. Then there's an option of adding symptoms. So if there are certain symptoms of this particular incident, those can be added over here, and that would help in diagnosing the other incidents coming in future. Then you can link this incident to a task. You can attach it to a CI. You can link or add a problem for here over here. You can link or add a change, release, or you can also link this with another incident. Just click on this. You define the type of link and add the other incident hash over here and click on update. And both the incidents would be linked together. There's also an option of approvals. So your staff can request for an approval for an incident where he might require permission, let's say from a senior member or from his manager. So once he clicks on this, he'll get an option to add a description of the issue for which the approval is required, and he can define the team or the staff to whom the notification should be sent. Then there are some more options over here wherein which we have already seen, like merging incident, moving to trash, marking as spam, or exporting this as a PDF. The next option is how to define the easy to use incident properties. So now I shall be taking you to the properties. I'll just minimize this. Okay, so over here we have the admin settings, under which we have the module properties. So some of these belong to the service desk. So I'll just be covering those which are associated with incident management for now. First of all, we have the domain. Now this can be used if you want to change the domain name of your help desk. That is, your client portal domain name can be modified over here, or if you want to add additional client portals, which is in case if you have the satellite desk or service desk product, that can be done from here. We have other properties like departments. Now, what are departments? So, a department is basically like a folder where your email will come in. So, let's say if you have multiple emails coming into your help desk, and they belong to different people or different teams, department is an option where you can categorize the incidents coming in. So, this will be like a box where you put in all the incidents, and you can map the incidents to respective departments. So you can add departments over here. I've added few over here as an example. You can also define if this incident is to be accessed publicly, or if this is a private department only for your internal staff usage. Then the next option is status. Now you might say that we have departments. Why do we need statuses as well? Like if I take you to the inbox, we have departments over here. Like these are departments: general, sales, technical support, billing. So why do we need statuses over here? Now let's say an email comes into general, but you want to know the current status of it. That what is the status of it? Is it a new incident? Is it a one replied by my staff members? So you can just add statuses over here. For example, open, awaiting, closed, resolved. You can have something like a work in progress added over here. So you can add the departments and statuses as per your requirement. It's a very simple process. You select status, you click on add status over here. You give it a title, and you define its access if it's public or private, and you click on add. Similarly, you can also define the other properties such as priority, incident type, categories, levels, channels, labels, and flag for these incidents. The next option is search and advanced search and creating custom filters. So over here on the top we have the search option. So when you search for a particular term, it gives you an option to look within different modules like incidents, clients, solutions, organizations, etc. Let's say if I search for a particular client, let's say I add the client's name over here and I search within clients. This is how the search would work. I can find the client details over here, the client's name or email address, and when I click on this, I get to see the client details over here. We also have an advanced search option available. So let's say if you want to search in depth or if you want to search at a more micro level, you can search in the advanced search. Over here, you can define the criteria. So let's say for example, if I want to search for a client name containing Renu and I want to look for all the emails coming into the department general. Now there'll be an option over here if you want to save this as a filter or if you want to directly search it. So let's say if I want to save this as a filter, I'll take this option over here and click on search. Now since I've saved this as a filter, it will ask me for a title. So I'll just put this Venu's general tickets and save this. So this filter has been added over here. I get to see Renu's general tickets over here. And now as I come to this filters, I would get to see that a new filter has been added over here. And I can view it at any time in future just by one click over here. So this is all about the search, advanced search, and how custom filters can be added. Next we have is setting up the email queue and SMTP management. Now to set the emails queue, we need to go to admin settings and scroll down. We have the email settings over here under which we have email queue. Now you might be having multiple email addresses of your company like sales@yourcompany.com or support@yourcompany.com. You can add those email addresses over here. You can add the email address, you can map it to a particular department, and you can also define the fetch type over here if it is pipe, POP3 or IMAP. And similarly, this needs to be defined at your email mailbox as well. So let's see if I have a Gmail account, I'll just go to settings and over here I'll go to forwarding, POP and IMAP, and I can define the forwarding option over here. Then we have SMTP. Now you can add your outgoing mail server details or your SMTP details over here. You click on add SMTP. Over here you need to define your host name, the port, your username and password. You can select SSL or TLS if you have one, and you can also grant a department which would be having this SMTP access and click on add. So this SMTP will be added for you. So this covers up a final topic, which is setting up the email queue and SMTP management.